Hey guys, so these videos are actually intended for my Berkeley High jazz piano students, but I've also put them out for anyone who wants to learn jazz piano. Today we're talking about tensions. So I'm going off of the basis that most people have a music theory background. But if you don't, just leave a comment in the video. I can always do something that's more in depth in terms of like what is a scale even, what is a note, where to find the notes on the piano, because I know some people who watch these videos perhaps don't have that knowledge. Tensions come in the form of ninths, 11ths, and 13ths. The ninth is the second degree of a scale, 11th is the fourth degree of the scale, and 13th is the sixth degree. We use tensions to add color. Now, tensions are usually placed at the top of a chord, so not really in between the chord, but there are obviously exceptions. So let's get right into the video. All right, so now that we know the root, seventh and third position, or how to build a seventh chord, now we want to start adding tensions. So in the last lesson we didn't talk about adding the fifth, but now we will add the fifth. So this is the basis of the chord. This is what we started off with, but now we're adding the fifth, as I said before. Or I'm not sure if I did, but the fifth is a neutral chord tone. That is why it's not a crucial member of the chord tones, simply because it doesn't change the quality of a chord. The only things that change the quality of the chord is the third and the seventh, because if I move them, it will give me a major sound. So now we're adding the fifth over here. Now for the seventh chord, we again root, seventh and third. And something that I really want to make you aware of is that when you build these chords, you're always trying to find the closest chord tone for the next chord. So you wouldn't want to, for instance, do this and jump for the third of F7. You wouldn't want to jump over here. You know what I mean? The A is so much closer here, so that's what you do. Same for the B flat major 7. Now just take note that I'm adding the fifth here as well. Okay, this is 7th, 3rd, and 5. Here I won't actually add the fifth. It's not necessary, but the fifth would be here, the closest one. Or if you choose to do that sounds musical, it's not too jumpy. And then now we want to do the half diminished chord. We can actually keep this. See, this would be the ninth of it, but we'll talk about that just a little later. That's the fifth of D7. Now G minor. Oh, the seventh. Sorry. So yeah, so that'll be the fifth of G minor. Otherwise, you can do it like this. Oh, actually, that's the best option from that position. Now, talking about tensions, which tensions do I use? Well, I will tell you two things. The tensions always come from the scale which the chord is derived. So B flat major, for instance. Here I'm playing bebop major. The difference between the normal major scale and the bebop major scale is that there's a passing step between 5 and a 6. Okay, this is actually a diminished movement, and it's maybe I'll do a video on that. And then as well as G harmonic minor, because the chart does go to the relative minor via its 2-5, which comes from G, harmonic minor. The second thing when choosing a tension is that you need to use your ear. Listening to jazz records, I guess, would help for that. But you need to use your ear and sort of decide for yourself what actually sounds good and what doesn't. For instance, if I play the first section, what would this be? This would be the flat 9. So you see, before I go too deep into this, I'm keeping the same position here. The only thing that's changing is the position of my hand because I'm playing the melody now. So, but this is exactly what I was playing before. You know, this is a standard voicing that you definitely need to know and check out properly. You know, because this will be able to, because it gives you space and leverage to shift in between. So now I'm just flattening the G. So this becomes actually the flattened 9th of F7. And then I do here I can keep this because this is actually the flattened 9th of D7. If you didn't notice before, this is the natural 9 would be this, right? Because when I play D7, right? But if I'm flattening the 9th, when I'm flattening something, I'm going downward by a semitone. If I'm sharpening, I'm going upward by a semitone. So this is D7 flat 9. D7 sharp 9 would then look like this. So I do see here I've added the 5th as well. So we can actually add the D7 sharp 9 as well. It's a very common sound you hear in jazz. And you can actually add the flat 9, then afterwards you do, it's nice voice leading. So we've talked about tensions on the dominant chords. What about minor and major chords? Well, for minor chords, the 9th and the 11th work pretty well. For major chords, the 9th works pretty well. And if it's an 11th, we would make it a sharp 11, especially in the case of this tune, because this tune is very modal, meaning it is all of these chords belong to the scale which they are in. So so here I'll do, you can add the 11th here like this. So the 9th I'll do here. This is the sharp 11. Could even actually make this a sus chord here. So I'll explain what a sus chord is. A sus chord is, it's a suspended chord. So the 3rd is suspended in the case of a dominant, or actually in the case of most chords. The 3rd, because the 3rd, this is its natural placement. The natural placement of a 3rd would be this. Well, let's play it up here. Would be this, right? But if I'm suspending it, then I'm playing the 4th. And then actually an easy way to think of a sus chord, one of my teachers in varsity told me this, guitarist by the name of Alvin Dyers. He told me that to think of a sus chord, just think a major triad, a tone below. So that would be C major over D. That gives you a really nice suspended sound. And then you can then resolve, because we haven't really resolved. Put the 3rd back in its natural placement. And then add the flat 9, perhaps, if you like. But also, if you notice the way that I voice these things, I'm not jumping around. It's like you're composing on the spot for a choir, for instance, because these are all voice parts. There will be soprano, alto, tenor, bass. So you don't want to make singers sing. I've sang in a choir, and probably if you're watching this, you probably have at some point in your life. You really don't want to be singing or something like that. You want to, that would be the best thing for me as a choir person. So when we put it together, this is one example that you could have. Obviously, there are many ways that you can do it.